Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. It is here guys, the final silkscreen test. For now, did you see that? For now at the bottom. We are going with alcohol and mica. So I'm going to be using mica powder and isopropyl alcohol. This was all recommended by you guys. If you saw the video where I did the tray and all of the bugs and the beetles, I made such a mess with the mica. So many of you said mix it in with the isopropyl alcohol for the silk screens and it won't make that mess. Now, this is a technique, of course, you all know Wendy from Toonpish Crafts uses this a lot. And she taught me this as well. And I've done it, I think, once on my channel, but it's not a technique I use too often. So we're gonna try it and see if we can get a much neater result in our silk screen prints. And here we go. Now, you can see exactly what I'm doing on the screen. I'm using a silicone coaster, a pile of mica, and some of that isopropyl alcohol. But here's the thing. Isopropyl alcohol, the one I have, is 99% proof, and it is evaporating at the speed of knots. Like, it evaporates so fast. So this is one of those techniques, I guess, that you need to work fast with and keep on top of. Because of the evaporation of the alcohol being so fast, it ends up leaving the mica powder back to a dry state. It is the most surreal, bizarre thing. But here we are trying it. I am cutting the silk screen. Now, I didn't want to do this originally. I wanted to keep it whole. But because we are making coasters, I need to make sure that they get absolute full-on 100% adhesion with the silicone mold. And this is what's happened already. I've mixed it. You saw me mix it. By the time I've cut those out and stuck them down, it has turned into a thick, gloopy paste because that alcohol has already evaporated. So if you were trying this, I would recommend waiting until you've done all of the things and then mix your alcohol. But I figured, hey, it is a usable paste. We might as well use it, and then we'll do a test between the thick paste that you see me using here. We'll rub that into one of the silk screens, and then on the other silk screen on the left, we'll actually bring it back to a more watery consistency just by adding some more alcohol. And it does just that, like a couple of sprays of the isopropyl alcohol, and it has brought it back into that watery form, which is what I was looking for in the first place. Now, I did add a bit more mica because I was looking for a more intense gold. So you saw there, I just added a bit more mica in and I'm mixing it. I'm using a micro brush at this point to actually take that and rub it down onto the silk screen. This was genuinely time consuming, but I just wanted to be super careful that I wasn't getting any of that mixture out of the edge of the silk screen like in previous videos. I want this to be as neat as possible. Having said that, I am me. I am me. It was not long before I thought, this is gonna dry up again. If I don't get all of this mixture into this coaster in the next 5 seconds, it's gonna dry out and we'll be left with a paste. So it was at this point I kind of quickly scraped it all out of the coaster and just put it straight down and rubbed it in with my gloved hand, because genuinely it was a little bit time consuming. And I figured, hey, if it's gonna work, it will work this way as well. I just didn't want it to evaporate. So here is what we're looking like. This one here, the really watery one, is looking good. You can see the image of the silk screen. The paste, you can't see a single thing, but you can see debris. Like, why? Why? We have debris. Of course, it was a paste, which meant it was a bit more powdery, which meant we still lost some debris into the mold, which was most inconvenient. But this is looking gorgeous. So beautiful. That real watery consistency, not too crazy watery, but watery enough that it went through the mesh and left us with this absolutely gorgeous beetle on the silicone mold. So a definite success, a win-win. The paste, however, shocked me. Like, I was not expecting this. Like, nothing. There's nothing there. Someone tell me. I give you a close-up here so you can see there's something, but I think the alcohol had literally evaporated to the point where mica powder alone wasn't leaving enough of an impression on the silicone mold. Like, compared to the Beetle. It is unbelievably different. So I covered the one on the left, I sprayed the one on the right with alcohol again to clean it all out, and we gave it a really good wash out with alcohol, and then we dried it thoroughly. We're gonna try again. I'm definitely not going for the paste though. I want to try and find the same watery consistency that I got for the Beetle. And whilst I say that, I'm making it sound easier said than done. For me, this was easier said than done. Now, do bear in mind, the coaster on the right that I'm touching right now is dry. We cleaned it with alcohol. It is dry. The alcohol was all evaporated. The silkscreen stuck like a dream. And we went again to what I thought was a similar consistency to the one on the left. So now we're just going to have two totally perfect prints in our silicone mold before we continue. The silicone mold, I forgot to mention, the silicone mold is the round coaster mold from Molds and Shapes. Now I have to tell you guys, I've battered this up. Like, I have battered and bruised this poor mold over the last 3 years, but this is the result. I have no idea what happened here. My only guess is it was too watery. So it became very apparent to me at this point, there's a fine line. There's a fine line between getting it right to the point where it's just perfect, and then getting it wrong to the point where it dries enough to become a paste. So yeah, that was me. I was honestly at this point thinking, yeah, I cannot be bothered. I cannot be bothered to do any more. But we have to go again. We absolutely have to. This is the consistency that I feel is a bit thick. So again, I added a bit more alcohol, made it just a bit more watery. So a lot less watery than what we just did. That came out like one big, hot, smushy, smudgy mess. This is definitely closer to the original consistency of the Beetle on the left. Again, it was just a case of trial and error. It was working out that absolutely perfect sweet spot that's going to get through the mesh and leave you with this beautiful imprint on the silicone mold. And this is the consistency you're looking for. So it's not dripping down the silicone. You can see on the left, it's not dripping. It's just not a paste. It was a tricky line, guys. It was a tricky line, but this was perfect. They came out absolutely perfect. It took a while. It took a while to get it bang on and for it to actually go through that mesh and come out on the mold. But yes, here we are. I just did a massive cleanup with some alcohol just to be on the safe side. I already knew there was some mica left from before, so I just wanted to be doubly sure this time and fully clean the mold. Now, I am going to back these with my Let's Resin Black Epoxy, but if you do not have that, you can use your standard regular epoxy resin for coasters, add in your black pigment or any colour that you want. You could go pink, green, yellow, gold. Well, could you go gold? I mean, you could. You could. Any colour you want. I am going with black. And for me, it was just easier to use the Let's Resin already made black epoxy because it is blacker than black. And I knew it would work. And here we are. I'm just filling them up. And I could not wait, honestly. It's been a while since I've been this excited about a demold. But I couldn't wait for the next day. I did wait. This is 24 hours later. And here we are demolding. Now, these are the results. Now, when I said earlier in the video, I have battered this mold. I have been using this mold constantly for 3 years. So it is a tad worn out, but nothing a top coat will not fix. Back to the Beetles though. This one here, just tell me why. Tell me why ain't nothing but a... Okay. The mess was real. The debris was real. Guys, I promise you I looked. I promise you. I got deep down and personal with these to see if there was any mica debris in this mold and I could not see a single thing. So at this point, I'm booking an appointment at the opticians. Do you understand? Because there was so much debris. However, this beetle on the left, perfection. Now, like I said, the mold has gone a bit matte. It's got years of abuse. But the beetle itself, the silkscreen and the alcohol and mica, perfection. The beetle on the left, absolutely perfect. Now, my question to you guys is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because my brain was saying, it's just, I'm not sure that this much effort is worth it for these results. Gold foil on your Cricut, cut out a decal, because otherwise, to me, mica straight on silicone is a faff. Unless you can guarantee it's 100% foolproof and clean, the results would not be worth it for me. I would definitely rethink my strategy. Maybe I just don't know if it's worth it for me. I'm definitely not the neatest of crafters, but the one on the left, I'm not kidding, is a wow. It is so perfect. Despite the damage to the mold, this could be easily covered up with a top coat and you'll never see that. And this would look stunning. Absolutely stunning. The one on the right has just got so much fallout from the mica. Again, maybe because it was a paste and it kind of dried out and it was flaking off, but I could not see it. But here we are. It definitely works. The more runnier, the better, but not too watery. You don't want it too watery. You just want it a little bit thicker than water, but not thick enough to be paste. A fine line. And faff. So much faff. You guys know me. I like easy. I like simple projects that can come out absolutely spectacularly stunning. And if I come across something that is just a little bit too much of a faffy level, then your girl's out. I hope you found this helpful. Like, it does work at the end of the day. You guys were right. Adding alcohol definitely improves everything when using mica. So I definitely would try this again. Might not necessarily try it with silk screens. I think it's just all a bit faffy. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.